story time, I guess what I'm going to call this, or more of a question of, would teenage me like where I'm at now in my life? So basically, like the whole thing, like when you think back at what you wanted when you were growing up, would you be happy with where you're at? And sorry, I was reading my son a bunch of books today, and I've got them sitting all around me. And it's something I've kind of thought about for a while. And I mean, I'm like, okay, I've thought, the past I've thought about it, like, oh yeah, I've got this and I've got this. And when you're a teenager, things are you're kind of superficial about certain things. It's like, oh yeah, I want a big house, I want a big car, I want this, I want that. And it's kind of like, and you don't really know what you want out of life, kind of. So, something I can actually think of it really seriously. When if I'm gonna say 15-year-old me we could see where I'm at now, would he be like, I got a pretty good life, or, oh dear God, what did I do to screw up so bad? And I was thinking like, okay, let's think about this. And I was thinking, okay, when I was 15, I was exercising regularly. I believe I had a 6-pack at the time, and played basketball like every day. So it's so that's just physically how I was. And how I am now, I don't exercise very much. I haven't played basketball in a very long time. And just about as far away from what was it somebody said? Is they don't have a 6-pack, they have a keg. So I have a keg. So physically, no. 15-year-old me would be like, oh dear God, I got fat. And that I would have to agree with. But I've always, my entire life, my dream was always to, when people ask me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I would always say, I mean, this is something I said, I think I was like in 5th grade, maybe. I was in, what was I in 5th grade? It was, yeah, it was probably 5th, 6th grade, something like that. Maybe before this. There was a computer class that I was in, and well, I'm not sure if it was a computer class. Basically, the classroom had these line of computers around the wall, and basically to keep the students quiet, we just played on those computers all day. They were like Apple IIs or something like that. And there was a game, I think it was called Haunted Mansion, if I'm not mistaken. Let me actually. But and basically we play these games, and I'd played this one game, I think it's called Haunted Mansion. It's kind of like a graphical text adventure. And after I played it, there was this other game that played. Basically, it's one. It's like shows you like, oh, this is how you use a mouse. This is how you use the keyboard and stuff like that. And at first, basically, there's this guy. You had to crawl along a tunnel. You basically hit the right arrow, and then you go in a maze by hitting the arrow keys and everything. And is it Haunted Mansion or Haunted House? But sorry, I'm trying to think, I might remember the name of this game. I was going to show you a picture of it, so maybe if you guys had played it and couldn't remember what it was, because it took me forever to find what the game was. But it's something like this. Like it's, but what I remember playing it, and when I did, the later on in that game that shows you how to use things, it actually there's like a part just about AppleScript, and it was like, and it's basically you had to do it inside that program, and you could make you could do little things in it, and it was something like oh shoot, my brain went completely blank. But it's very short, little tiny things, and for some reason, I just took to it really quickly. I was like, holy cow. And there were like 12 lessons in it. And this was something that was supposed that, like, from what the teacher said, that because she kept there a year, and I think most kids just goofed off and didn't really pay attention, because this was, you had to type text in. You had to look at the book and actually read through it. And I was able to, oh gosh, I completed all 12 of them in like 2 days. And the teacher was like, it takes some students the entire year and they don't complete them. And I did them in 2 days. And she was like, she's never seen anybody do that. And I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. And I was surprised. And then I started and I figured out about the AppleScript and what all you could do with it. And then I realized, oh wait, there's programming languages, because in that book, when you start reading on, it told you about other programming languages and how people used them, and how the thing you were using was actually written by a programmer. And I'd always say, I want to be a computer programmer. And my camera's about to die. Okay, place the battery in my camera, back up and running. But so, yeah, pretty much ever since then, I always say, I want to be a computer programmer. I want to do these things. I want to be able to write these programs. And it wasn't just games. I mean, games be really cool, but I just like the idea of making these things that the computers could run. And I went into, so from like 6th grade, I knew what I wanted to go to college and do. And went to college, did that, and got a degree in it. And I'm working in the field. I'm doing networking, I'm doing programming, doing all this stuff with computers. So if 15-year-old me looked forward and saw what I did for a living, he'd be like, all right, I've actually accomplished my dream. And that is something that makes me proud, that I actually, what I set out to do, I actually did. And I think that would be, I mean, it's a thing of pride to me, that when I think back about it, I'm like, wow, this is actually what I wanted to do. And it's not an easy thing. I'm not saying that nobody can do it if they really try. I'm not saying that. But it's not easy. There's a lot of logic, and sometimes there's math, sometimes there's not. But it's a different way of thinking. And it makes me happy that I actually stuck with it and did it, and didn't just go, this is hard, I'm going to go something else, something easy. Then with Adrian, 15, I mean, when you're that young, you don't understand about kids. That I know. Be like, okay, I've got a kid, he seems to be cute, he's a pretty good kid, smart. Alright, so, but that wouldn't, I don't think that'd be disappointment or source of pride at me at 15. If I think now about material things, I think 15-year-old me would like them. But that's not really important. That isn't really the goal of this. Like, oh, just to impress 15-year-old me. I'd want 15-year-old me to be able to look at my life and for like however long and go, if he keeps going a certain way and he got to where he is to me, to where I am now, would he be happy? And yes, the material part is, things are a part of it, but family and job and free time, what I do, my 2 dogs. I love dogs. I loved animals. I still love animals, but younger, I always was around them and always loved them. And I thought, I was like, okay, looking from the outside in is difficult. And I was like, okay, if somebody didn't know what I was thinking, but just saw from the outside looking, would they, or me, previous me, knowing how I thought then and how I think today, or how I thought then, having just me looking at myself then today, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm playing games, I'm doing this, the responsibilities you wouldn't really understand because you just don't. I think because you never had that type of responsibility. But overall, I think that 15-year-old me would look at myself and go, I look happy. Seem to enjoy everything. Now, I do get aggravated a lot. That is very true. I mean, sometimes I take my dogs out for a walk and they seem to want to smell every blade of grass on the ground. I'm like, come on, guys, let's actually just move some. But I love them to death. 15-year-old me, that probably wouldn't even bother. I'd probably sit on the ground and start petting on it when I was 15. But just other things like, oh, okay, I'd be like, oh, I need to wash some socks. 15-year-old me wouldn't understand that. I mean, my aunt washed my clothes for me, and it's like, okay, I always had clean socks. You always had clean underwear. You always had clean pants. You always had, everything was clean. 15-year-old me would be like, wait a minute, what? Gather up my socks. Oh, I got them all in this thing. Like, the reason why I'm saying that is because I just wash socks. Like, it's the underclothes. And and it's like, okay, that 15-year-old me wouldn't understand that. That'd be kind of I'd be like, it kind of sucks. But everything else, though, I do think 15-year-old me would like. I enjoy my life, and I'm happy I have it. And it's just one of those things to where I've tried to, I mean, really, for the longest time I can remember, I've always tried to do what was, I'm not saying just best for me, but to get me to where I wanted to be. So it's like if you're climbing Mount Everest, and you're trying to get to the top of Mount Everest, you don't want to get like a quarter of the way up and go, I'm gonna go get a cheeseburger at McDonald's and then walk back down. You wouldn't do that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like trying to go, okay, I want to get to here. Like I'm currently here, I want to get to here. So I may not, like, say here to here. I may not take a direct path, but as long as I may go up like this and then down and then up, and to get to that point. So it's a lot longer, but I'm always getting closer. I'm not ever going backwards. If I had paper, it'd be a lot easier to show, but I didn't think this out and grab that beforehand. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm always thinking about, and I'm like, not always, but this is something of my way I try to live my life. I do think that 15-year-old me would be happy where I'm at. Now, don't be wrong. 15-year-old me would always want to be further along than I am. It's like, oh, shouldn't you have a bigger house, or shouldn't I be driving a Lamborghini, or shouldn't I be doing this or that? As I gotten older, I'm thinking I wouldn't want a Lamborghini because there's like a $2,500 service bill every time you change the oil, and maybe more now, but I just know it's like insane. And it's just like, I've always liked trucks, so I have a big truck. Oddly enough, 15-year-old me wanted an S10, and I didn't want a Jeep at that time. Now, I want a Jeep. It's kind of weird. I'm thinking back in the past. I'm like, why didn't I ask for a Jeep? But so yeah. Current Rodney kind of thinks back and goes, I should have done this, kind of, because I don't really do that a lot, because there's somebody that said once that if there's a time machine there and you can go back and change anything in your past, and you wouldn't take the time machine, you live a pretty good life. And I thought, I'm like, would I change anything? And I think, okay, well, I like the place I'm at now. I really do. I'm very happy. And if I could go back and into a time machine, can't speak, time machine, would I change anything? Because I may change something then, and I may be in a completely different place now. And I'm thinking, no, I wouldn't want that. So basically, if there was a time machine there and I could go back and change something, I wouldn't do it. Now, if somebody had a machine that said you can relive the things you did in the past, but you can't change anything, that I might do. Because there are things that happened in the past that I'd like to relive. I mean, I'd like to, but it's kind of weird things. Like, you think back as memories, and there's been studies done that when you're remembering something, you're not actually remembering what happened, you're remembering the last time you remembered it, which is kind of a weird way to think about something. So it's like details change, and so, but there's things that happened in the past that I would like to actually relive to see, do they actually match up with what I remember? I don't know, just weird things like that. No, I'm not going to say what they are. Those are personal things from the past, and just different people I've known. But yeah, I don't know. Very long discussion to just be thinking about would 15-year-old me like where I am now. And this is kind of a discussion, me really thinking about, have I really made the best choices in my life to get me to where my ultimate goal is? And I really think I have. I think, could I have done things better? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. If I would have went left when I went right, it may have going that way may have let me down a path that had unforeseen consequences. So here I am, and kind of like where I'm at. Sorry, this is kind of a weird discussion. It's just me kind of thinking about different things, and kind of really want to talk about it because I've heard some people, I've known some people saying that they've made this one mistake that really changed things. And I'm like, have I seen mistakes yet? Yes, I have seen huge mistakes coming at me. Well, take it back. When you're in the moment, a lot of times you don't see those big mistakes. Things like just, it's like a 18-wheeler like barreling down interstate. Has his hand, the guy has his hand on the horn, and you're standing in the middle of the road. And somehow you don't see that when you're whatever age. And luckily, I was able to dodge those things. But sometimes some people say that they made some mistake in the past and it changed their life. And I was on, I'm trying to remember if I saw it was on YouTube or if I saw it on Reddit or something like that. But I was either watched or read. I'm trying to find, if I can find it, I'll link it in the description. But there was this person talking about the biggest mistake of their life, and that's what really kind of got me thinking about this. This was something I saw maybe a few months ago, and it's really, I've kind of been thinking about off and on for a while. So, but yeah, sorry, kind of a weird topic, I know. But anyways, hope you had a good day. My day, Sunday, I got to sit around, didn't do much. Kind of really didn't do anything. That's it, wash clothes, like I said. I'm pointing up here like you know my washer and dryer is upstairs, so I'm actually pointing in that direction. But anyways, I got to sit at home, didn't do much, but talk to you tomorrow.